Claude design is an absolute game changer. Whoopsie. Okay. Here we go. That's where we need to be. Okay. So Claude design is what we're going to get into today. And I need to pull up my notes. Here we go. Let's get into some Claude magic. All right. So at this point, if you've been watching all the videos about Claude, it's a real thing. It is absolutely something that is changing the game right now, and I want to get into that as quickly as possible. But the one context that I want to add here with Claude design, specifically for real estate agents, is something I talked about yesterday, which is find what you need help with, either to save you time or make money in your real estate business, and then use the technology that's available to you to go a lot faster. So today I'm going to show you how to actually secure listings with Claude design, how to personalize everything, and how to spend less than 2 seconds to get this done. So we're going to go into step-by-step how to set up your listing presentation. We're going to create one live and personalized to a specific listing that you're trying to secure. So we're going to spend that time right now getting into it. So, okay, let's go into this. First off, what we need to do with Claude, and we're going to go step by step, just know that we're going to change the ingredients as we get going once we need them. So first things first is getting your brand right. At this point, many of us, myself included, haven't spent a lot of time on the brand colors, how we want it to feel, what emotions we want to convey to our end user. And before, it was a little bit more challenging. We'd have to hire somebody and hope that they knew that they knew what they were talking about, hope that they could deliver something that was actually usable, something that could actually help us. So at this point, before we go through and actually create a living, breathing document that's going to be used to grow your business, grow your brand, let's start from the very beginning and get our brand right. So what does that mean? It's getting your brand colors, getting to your font, getting the brand kit that some companies are charging $10,000 just for a very simple logo that can be done. For the longest time, could have just been done by somebody that was designing it for $5 off of Fiverr. But now we're going to go even beyond that. We're not looking to spend $10,000, whether we have it or not. You don't need to. Somebody that is something, in this case Claude, is going to be able to do that for you extremely quickly and much better. So here's what we're going to do. In order for us to find what our brand colors are, what our identity actually is, we're going to have Claude itself tell us, right? So the coolest thing about this is that the biggest skill set that you can have or develop, that you need to develop with AI, is not prompting. It's more about asking it questions. So you don't need to have the perfect prompt. You just need to be able to ask it enough questions and the right questions in order to get the results. So let's get our brand right. Then we're going to go into the, I'll kind of give you the lay of the land, what we're going to be talking about, getting your value proposition right, which is going to be important for your listing presentation that we're creating here in 2 seconds. And then creating the perfect listing presentation that's personalized to the individual that you're going to speak to. So we're doing things that would take months, things that we've been delaying years on. We're going to be able to develop that right here, right now, in one simple presentation. Let's get into it. And again, most important thing that you can do with AI is asking questions. So can you ask me 3 questions that will help? No, let's go with 5. 3 questions that will help you create my brand kit. Color, font, etc. All right, so we're off. We got to create our brand real quick. All right, so as you're coming in, a like is going to go a long way. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Happy to get into it. All right. What industry of business are you in? Well, that's important. So here, real estate agent in Dallas Fort Worth. Cool. All right. What feelings should your brand evoke? Are we the professional kind? Are we the playful kind? Are we the edgy kind? Are we the calm, minimal? Minimal. I'm going to go with the professional and trustworthy. Who's our target audience? Gen Z, millennials, boomers, businesses, everyone. So it's forcing us to answer questions that we often overlook right here and right now. So I would say most of the individuals that I've been helping with has been more on the millennial side for the most part, largely because of the content that I create on socials and on YouTube. So we're going to go with millennials. Do you have any existing brand colors you want to keep? No, I want to start fresh. All right, what's your preferred font style? We're going to go with clean, modern, classic, friendly, bold, display. I always wanted to go modern, but for me, I always tend to ruin it with adding too much. So we're going to use a professional, in this case, Claude, to help us out. And it's off to the races. So at this point, what it's doing is, of course, it's thinking. And what it's doing at the moment is gonna get us what we've been delaying forever. We've been delaying on getting a brand color and being consistent with that. The font, being consistent with that. So it's given us, based off of what our outcome is, it's given us suggestions that it knows to speak specifically to the individual that we're trying to speak to. So you see here, color palette, navy, Texas gold, limestone, charcoal. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. Check that out. Again, there's some companies out there that are charging $10,000 for this. And here's the thing. They've been using this all, not this particular one, but they've been using variations of this to provide you the fonts, the colors. They've been using people off of Fiverr. So instead of paying them $10,000, you can do this right now. It's just going to cost you the pro plan. I believe here is like $20. I forget how much we're paying for this particular plan, but it's not much. So check it out. Let's look at this together. Modern and readable. I like it. Logo type, concept, brand use, primary uses, avoid. Here's your brand kit, colors, typography, and it even explains it, right? So want me to go deeper, like a social media template, business card mockups, or a full style guide document you can download. Let's do a full style guide. Now there's a reason that we're doing this. There's a reason we're setting up for a big reveal here. So right now we're getting our brand right. Some of you already have your kit. Some of you have already paid that $10,000. And that's okay. We're going to be able to leverage that for the next step. We're going to get into getting our value proposition right. This is going to be very important that we start, this is the second step, because we need to provide context to Claude to give us a listing presentation that we're going to be proud of. If you ask Claude design right now, it will give you a listing presentation and it's going to look great. It just is. However, we need it to look great for us. Remember, we're not looking just for cool things to be doing over here. It's something that we've talked about ad nauseum since we've been really getting into the trenches with the AI. It's what problem are we trying to solve as a real estate practitioner? What are we trying to do here? Well, in this case, we're trying to get a listing presentation so as to secure the listing altogether, right? So before, we would have to spend hours ourselves. And then what happened after that? Well, we would pay somebody. At this point, if it was somebody that was local or somebody overseas, we would pay for them to do that. Then Canva came into our lives, and when we used whatever was created there, and then we just started using that. And now this is the next version of this. This is something that is this is revolutionizing the way to actually create content en masse. So at this point right now, it's still going, it's still it's still working, it's actively working. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna open up another tab, and we're gonna be working on our value proposition. Once again, the most important thing here is that we just ask questions. So let's, I need my value proposition for my real estate business. Can you ask me 5 questions to help me get to that value prop? Now, once again, the reason that we're going through our value prop here is so we can, once we have what we're looking for, we can introduce it into Claude Design and get going on that. All right, so at this point, we have it done. It is ready to go. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna download this. All right, now let's go over here and we have the design. All right, let's dig in. First 3 questions and then the final 2. Who is your ideal client? Are we luxury? Are we investors? Are we home sellers? First time home buyers? What's your primary market? Are you in urban, commercial, suburbs? I would go with suburbs. What do clients compliment you the most? Communication, negotiation skills, honesty, and guidance. I would say communication. So those are 3 questions. Again, we're getting into our value prop right now. All right. What's the number 1 pain point your clients have before working with you? Lost or overwhelmed, not getting offers accepted, trusting that they're getting a fair deal, finding the right, I would say lost and overwhelmed. It seems to already know me. What sets you apart from other agents in your area? Years of experience, a specific niche. So I would say specific niche more in real estate, not in real estate, new build. All right, so here we go. If you know it's your niche, is your superpower. 1 follow up further. Specific suburb adding the in the would make it even more ownable and locally magnetic. Want me to refine it? Yes, please. And also add the fact construction specialist. I was doing a resale transaction. I'm doing 2 real estate resale transactions right now where I had to write the contract, and it's been, at this point the team takes over a lot of the contract writing, and it just reminded me why I like new construction way more now. All right, so core value prop right here, right? So we have it, it's ready to go. We have our value proposition. If you it'll get you all of the as you see, it'll get you the Facebook and all the social media bios. It'll get you the web, all the stuff that you're reading on the screen. So it does that. So that's actually going to complete number 2. Many of you are already going to have this, which is awesome. But if you don't, and if you've been delaying in something that you've been meaning to get to, I'd much rather you get this right from the very beginning. So then you can get this right, because you're going to be able to create it and save it as a template so you can go out and modify it in 2 seconds. So you're going to be able to create a personalized listing presentation for each of the listings that you go into. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So at this point, we have our brand guide. So we know what our branding looks like. We know the feels that we want. And then we also have our value proposition, what we're going to be able to lean on or really focus and emphasize when we're at the listing presentation. And then what's going to happen next is we are going to set up a slide deck. So here, if you haven't been to Claude Design in the past, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Claude right here. We're going to open this up. We're going to go to Claude Design. So this is going to work right now. At the time of this recording, this is only a online. This is not the desktop version. So you're going to go to Design here. Now, when you go to Design, what's going to happen at this point is you're going to name your project. So here you're going to put the ultimate listing presentation. Now, if you've done this in the past already, then you're gonna have already set up a design system. Right now, if you haven't, then that's okay. That's something that we're going to be able to create regardless. So I'm going to put none and I'm going to hit create. Now, what you're seeing here is what we're doing is doing a listing presentation. So it's essentially a presentation. It's a PowerPoint. Now, to add some context, this is the entire reason that we went through all of this ahead of time. We could instantly ask it to create something from here and it would do quite well. However, you don't have to. If you want to save something, so if you go here to design system and you go to edit, you're going to be able to upload what we just did. You're going to be able to upload the brand design. Where are we? We're going to be able to upload the brand design, the brand kit that we did. We're going to be able to upload it right there. All right, so now that it has our fonts, logos, and assets, what we want it to do is it's going to take some time, but we're going to ask it to generate it. So it's going to take all that information that it just created. We didn't have this up until the moment that we pressed record a couple of minutes ago. That did not exist. So now that we have this in place, the reason that we're spending some time in setting this up from day one is so day two is a lot easier. So when we go to the third listing appointment, the fifth listing appointment, we don't have to start over from scratch. Now, once again, if we would have just started here and said, hey, make this, it would have absolutely done that. And it would have done a really good job. However, it would have done 95% of the job. You would have needed to clean up the rest of that 5% to make it more tailored to you. This is how you avoid all of the back and forth. This is how you avoid all of the final touches that you would need to do in order to really make it hands off for you. So that's why we ended up going through this the way that we did. So again, if you are finding value, let me know in the comment section down below. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. It's going to be very helpful, very valuable. All right. So as we let that simmer, as we let that go, it won't take 5 minutes, but it will take a little bit of time. So here again is what we created. Now the second thing that we're going to be introducing here is this component, the value proposition. So we're letting it build, we're letting it simmer, so then we can ultimately from here be able to create that presentation that we're looking for. We're looking for that perfect listing presentation that we're getting Claude to create for us. I suggest to go this way because again, at this point, you're building this once and then you make it a template and you're using this over and over and over again. Now, the third step is one that I'm still working through. This one's one that is not fully ready because this is something that is relatively new and I've been playing around with the best way to do it. But I think I found a way to really implement the MLS version. So essentially the CMA. So we have an AI that actually does CMAs for us, except this one's through chat. Chat GPT, it's actually not through here. So let me see if I can do this on, I have not tried this part. I think it should work in theory, but I wonder if it'll work in practice. But we'll probably need to, I'll probably need to dedicate a full video to that. So we're not here guest testing and revising. But I think I found a way to actually have the MLS directly or through just one little prompt, get the information of the property that you're going to go and do a listing appointment and really personalize it specific to that property. So you don't have to, really copy and paste much, if anything. But I just need to work on that. So as it's going through, let me see if I can find something. We're going to work something on the fly. Work something on the fly real quick. CMA, if I have a CMA here that I don't mind sharing, because right now it's working. We have a little bit of time to kill. I'm going to go over here to the MLS. I'm going to go over here to the detail. 1 second as it gets going. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Thanks for being here. And in real time, we're gonna run our little CMA. Actually, let me go over to chat real quick. Go to past conversations. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see the AI, hyperlocal AI. All right, here we go. Here's one. Here's one. All right. Let me make sure that this is tested. Okay, so I pulled a bunch of information from the MLS that so I'll kind of switch gears for a quick second. I know this is Claude, but we have a hyperlocal CMA through ChatGPT that lets us know essentially how to be pricing homes. So like a CMA would, it tells you the value of the home and it gives you a really good analysis. So what we do is we upload the information that we have available to us, and then it goes off and does its thing. It takes all of the pricing logic that we've embedded into it, and it creates a really, really accurate CMA. So I want to make sure that I think it should work. Let me see if it should work. Let me see if it can work. All right, so I don't want to get in the way while it's cooking. Actually, just so we can keep this going, here's what we'll do. I knew that it was going to take a little bit of time, but I wasn't expecting it was going to take as long, because it didn't take, whenever we were first setting this up, it didn't take as long. So what we're going to do is we're going to select an already existing design system. So it's we're going to make a pitch deck, which essentially is a listing presentation, and we're using the design system that we already have for our personal business. This is exactly what's being created right here. I just went through and showed you exactly how to do that. So here's what we're going to do. Please create a listing presentation with my following, no, a 6-page listing presentation for my real estate business. One, here here is my value prop. So let me go over and take that real quick. Boom, boom. Okay. 2, the listing I am trying to get is, and I don't remember this property address. Oh, we'll have it make it up. The listing. And then 2, please. Actually, it will prompt it for me here later. It'll ask me, hey, do you want me to just use a placeholder so you can add it later? So we'll actually do that instead of sharing previous or current, in some cases, current transactions that we're actually under contract with right now. So we're gonna hit send. All right, now the reason that I'm doing 6 pages is because just I don't want a book. It's not something that is all that useful. They're not going to read it. It's not going to be important. So we're just going to keep it very succinct. So these are the questions that I was referencing what's going to be asked. Who is this presentation for? So seller listing pitch. Homeowners deciding whether to list with me. Boom, that's it. Your name and brand. So I didn't capture it. So here we're going to put Jaime Resendez, ESP Realty, and then there we go. Credentials improve, any real stats. I help buyers. Well, I help clients save $12,000 on average during their real estate transaction. Okay. How will this be presented? In person, laptop, email, presented on screen, then left behind the PDF? Not sure. So we're going to put in person. Story arc for 6 slides. Cover, why new construction, why the problem, my approach, working together. New construction, it feels like it's trying to get down the new construction specialization. So in this case, it might actually hurt me. So I probably should not have included that for the listing part as my value prop. So that's on me. This one seems to be more non-construction focused. Warm, calm, confident, and polished. Coffee chat, blah, blah, blah. Top producer. And at any point, we can just put decide for me, but I'm just going through the questions that it's asking at least for this particular listing presentation. And let's check back on our, here he goes. So here it goes. It has the brand guide over here now. How cool is that? Isn't this crazy? Check that out. You even have a website now. Isn't that insane? Isn't that flipping insane? Wow. Unbelievable. Imagery. So use faithful, tasteful stock. Use warm. All right, we're gonna use blocks. I'll provide photos later. Leave placeholders. There we go. Want variations to compare? Just one polished version. And then contact info for final slide. Yeah, I'll leave blank for placeholders. Don't want to be putting my phone number out like that. Should I add live tweaks? Tweaks lets you toggle things. Yes, but keep it minimal. Yeah, we actually want to. Continue. All right. So a listing presentation that you would even join a brokerage just to get their listing presentation or access to their shared PowerPoint is instantly done. No, it's already done it. I've been playing around with it too much. All right. Well, let me see here real quick. Let me see if I can modify this. One second. All right, verifying. Here we go. Okay. All right, so now that we got it, come on now. Retry. Here we go. Here we go. Check this out. In hindsight, whenever I'm testing for things, maybe I shouldn't wait to go live during the same day that we've been doing things. Go. All right, so let me know in the comment section down below. What questions do we have? What are you doing with chat as we wait for it to go through? Could have shown you the other version, the ones that we have here already, but I think it's just important that we go from the very beginning to the very end. So as we wait, here we go. The other one's complete, right? I'm just blown away. Like even the UI kit is just sick. Look at that. And then you have your headings, you have everything. So we have at one point we have 3 web designers. At this point we have one that does part-time, and just the amount of work that is being done is just, that's already done so instantly. It's huge. What blew me away was this one. Just unbelievable. And it looks professional. I mean, it is professional. This is great. All right, homies, let's see. Let's get to that final output. It's going to go into the next, into the next, into the next, but we're almost there. We're almost going to be able to see the final output here. So as a quick recap, oops, that's the CMA. First, we got our brand right. So first we asked it, hey, what are some questions that you need from me in order for you to get a really good, give me a good, really good brand guide. What questions can you ask me so I can identify the value prop that I can bring? Unfortunately, I went too much with the buyer side. I should have focused more on the listing side. That's on me. And then here, creating the perfect listing presentation. So that's what we went into and started leveraging Claude Design. And that's what we're waiting on at the moment. So you have the cover. It's almost there. So it's already built out the outline here. So buying new construction. Oh, it went down the buy new construction route. So we're going to need to tweak it. How to approach new construction. So it went more on the buyer side, and that's a large part is my fault. So I should have leaned in more on the listing side. But all we would need to do would be tweak the input that we gave. So yeah, I went totally down the buyer side. Isn't that crazy? That's just nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Now with the tweaks, so when you go over here, you can ask it to change anything on here. That's one of the things that we said from the outset. So go full screen. Isn't that crazy? Now some of the spacing is off. We can ask it to correct the spacing here. But for all intents and purposes, this is something that would take a long time to get right. We would spend entire days setting this up. And again, the major miss here that I made, that I didn't really think too much about, I automatically went into new construction mode, is I should have focused more on the listing side of the value prop for homeowners, not necessarily my actual business of focusing more on the buyer side. So that's on me. That's a miss. However, that small tweak, that's the only small tweak that you need to make, as opposed to feeding it the value prop that talks about new construction and first-time home buyers. We should have gone down the route of the value prop of you helping listings, helping sellers. So hopefully those helpful in some way. This is one of the most effective, this is the most effective tool that is out there right now to grow your business. This alone, I mean, you saw me there, I had to upgrade. It was $100 for the month, but you don't need the $100 for the month. I just, instead of having to wait every single day to reset, that's what I would get consistently. So because I was live, I just ended up biting the bullet. But for $100, I can tell you that that's the best investment that you're going to make. For $100, you won't be able to hire a developer. You won't be able to hire a assistant, somebody, a virtual assistant that can help you in your business in this way. That just doesn't exist. So gladly pay that 10 times over, but don't tell Anthropic, because they're already making billions of dollars. So anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for being here. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and can't wait to see what else you create. Bye.